That is a leaf. I don't know, does that count? What do we do a leaf? Hello, welcome to Knitting Noodles. Today's episode we are going to do a part 2 of the random knitting patterns, and I'm going to take you along as I figure it out, and then I show you how I figured it out. So we're just gonna get right to it and flip to a random page. We do this blind. That is a leaf. I don't know, does that count? What do we do a leaf? It's a completely random one. I didn't even know that was in there. I looked at this one first, so we'll do this side. We'll do this leaf, and then if it's easy, we'll do the other one. And I'll show you how to read it and how to go through it. Alright, so I have made a leaf that looked similar to this before. I've never made one that looks like this. This one says it's a larger leaf. Both of them are easy skill levels. So this looks like it only takes 23 rows to finish it off, while this one takes 36. Let's make sure it doesn't continue. No. Oh, that is so cute. You can turn them into coasters. Oh, that is adorable. What do you have to do for that? You sew fleece or felt on the back. Oh, that is so cute. I might have to do that. Alright, so we're gonna start off, if the dogs would stop barking next door. We're gonna start off with a small leaf, and I'm gonna walk you through really easy how to do this. And it looks really complicated with all these abbreviations. Once you know what the abbreviations mean, this will be super easy to work through. Alright, so for this pattern, it doesn't give you a recommended yarn or needle size, so kind of base it off of the yarn that you grab. So I have this yarn, cotton and linen. It is a weight 4, and it says to use US 8s knitting needles. I felt using 7 because I like tighter stitches anyway, so I'm going down a size. So go based off of what your yarn label says. Don't go like crazy far off. Like if it says an 8, don't go down to a 4, or like don't go up to a 13. But if it's close enough, it should be fine. Alright, so it does say at the beginning of this, a kind of basic, what each thing means. Slip, slip, knit, tells you what that means, and knit 2 together, and what past slip stitch over means. And I'll show you, because it's hard to translate it in your head from words to what the actual actions are. So we're going to start off by casting on 5 stitches, and then we're going to do this whole little thing right here. And yeah. Alright, we have 5 stitches, and we're going to start that first row, which is the right side. Start off by knitting 2 stitches. 1, 2. And we're then going to do a yarn over. So yarn over is a type of increase, and what it does is it makes a lace-like hole in the fabric of our knitting. So it's going to be a lace-like thing around that center vein of the leaf. So we're gonna yarn over. So for yarn overs, you bring it to the front, up and over the back of your needle. You kind of just drape it over, and you just knit the next stitch. And you can see it makes like a little hole. And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you knit that one, you're gonna yarn over again. So up, over, drape it, and knit into the next 2 stitches. Alright, the next part of the pattern is row 2, and all even numbered rows are purling. So we're just gonna purl the wrong side. All right, we're going to continue the pattern of increases all the way up until row 9. That's the last increase. So you can see that each time you do an increase, it increases the first number of stitches. So we first knit 2, then yarn over. Now we're going to knit 3, then yarn over, then knit 4, then yarn over, then knit 5, then yarn over, and we're ending with knit 6, then yarn over. So you're going to want to start with 3, and you will see, if you forget what number you're on, the yarn overs really help highlight where the middle point is. So let's say you lose count, you maybe didn't record how many rows you did. You can see off of this, see how the middle vein, it's surrounded by those yarn overs. So you can see where it is. It's easier to find. So you knit up until there's that one straight line that's surrounded by little lacy holes, and that's where you know right before that you have to add your yarn over. So that one was 3, we're going to purl, and we're going to keep going with that pattern. So next one is 4, then 5, and then 6. And remember, all the wrong side rows, which is the even numbered rows, we are going to just purl the back. Alright, so I finished off with row 10. Row 9 was the last increase row with the yarn overs. Row 10 is just the wrong side row of just purling. So we finish off with 10 of just purling, and now we're going to start the decreases to create that taper. So we're going to do that by knitting 1, then we're going to slip, slip, knit, knit 9, knit 2 together, knit 1. Now the difference between slip, slip, knit and knit 2 together is the direction in which it slants. So slip, slip, knit, you can see on the edge here, it points that way. While knit 2 together leans to the right. Slip, slip, knit leans to the left. So that's why you'll see the right side of something usually always is slip, slip, knit, because the decreases taper towards the left, and it just makes a cleaner finish if you use the 2 different types of decreases. So for slip, slip, knit, you're going to take your needle as if to knit, and you just slip it off. Next stitch, put it in, and slip it off. Now you're going to take your left needle, you're going to put it into the front of both of those stitches, and now you're just going to knit those 2 as if they were 1. You can see doing this brings that first stitch over and makes it lean. Well, we'll show the difference between knit 2 together. So it says knit 9. Another way it could be written is knit until there's only 3 stitches left on your left hand needle. So we're going to knit until there's 3 left. Oop, just going to knit one of them. There's 3 left. So now we're going to take our right needle. We're going to go from the back, 2 stitches, treat them as if they're 1, and knit those 2 together. In this case, you see that last stitch leans over the first one, and it makes it lean towards the right. Then we're going to knit 1, and we're going to purl the back side. And we're going to continue this until there are 3 stitches left on the needle. So by this I mean knit 1, slip, slip, knit, knit until the last 3 stitches, knit 2 together, knit 1. So keep going until there are only 3 stitches left on your needle. Remember, even rows always purl on the back. And I'll see you back here with 3 stitches. Alright, I came back with 5 stitches because I forgot to mention that for 3 stitches it's a little different than what we've been doing. So I'll come back to show you the 3 stitches. My bad, I didn't look that closely. Knit 1, slip, slip, knit, And then we're just going to take those last 2 stitches and knit those 2 together. And now we're left with those 3 stitches. And again, we're going to purl the back side. Purl those 3. And then for that last stitch, we're going to slip 1, which means we're just going to take it from one needle to the other without knitting it. We're going to knit those 2 stitches together, and then we're going to take our slip stitch and put it over our knit 2 together. And now we just cut off the yarn and pass it through that last stitch. Cut. And put the tail through, and that creates a knot. And that is our small leaf. Now if you have problems with it curling up like this, a problem to solve that is blocking. I will have a more in-depth video in the future on how to do blocking, but the basic of it is you just get it wet and you lay it down flat or in the position that you want it to dry into, and it'll make your knitting flatter, more even. You can also pin it into place. So let's say you wanted it a little bit bigger, you'd wet it and you'd pin it into the new dimensions and let it dry like that. And once you take the pins out, it'll stay in that shape. So that's if you wanted it more flat. Then you'd obviously weave in the ends, and then you're ready to use this small leaf. Now let's get right into the bigger one. I'm really excited for this. I want to use it as a coaster. This also is easy. There is a new technique in here, which is making one. I do have a video previously on that, but I'll show you how to do it here as we're going along. All the rest, though, is the same as the other pattern. So for this, we're going to start off by casting on 7 stitches, so 2 more than the last one. And the first row, we're going to knit. And row 2. Oh, this one is getting fancy with the border. So let's cast on 7, knit, and then we'll come back for row 2. All right, so for row 2, and all even number rows through row 26, you're going to knit the first 2 stitches, purl into the last 2 stitches, and then again knit 2. What this does is this adds that nice border that you see on here. That's a lot bigger than this one. So to frame it out, we're going to do that knit 2 border on both sides. Make sure you don't use the tail. There we go. Boop. Then we go into row 3. Now instead of that center vein being lined by yarn overs over here, in this case it is going to be framed by making 1 stitch. So the simplest way to do that, we're going to start by knitting 3. And there's 2 different ways to make a stitch. Either come from the front or from the back. I like to come from the front, so it looks like this, looped over the stitch, and then I knit through the back loop because it twists it and closes it up. Otherwise, it makes it more open and looks more like a yarn over. For this particular pattern, it does not matter. That's just my preference because I like it to look more seamless. So knit 1 again. I go from the front and make another one because we're framing that center vein, and then we're going to finish off by knitting 3. And we are going to continue this pattern all the way until, let's see, I'm going to keep going until row 19. So in each case, you're going to increase the number of stitches before you make one. So for row 3, what we just did, it was 3. Row 5, it's going to be 4. 7, it's 5. And we're going to keep going all the way. Row 19, we're going to knit 11, make 1, knit 1, make 1, and then 11. And we're going to end up with 25 stitches. So come back to row 19, and then we'll start the decreases on this. Alright, so I finished row 20, which is right after 19. That is still the row 2 in all even number rows. And we're going to continue doing that until row 26. So I did the last increase and I did that even number row, and now we're going to start doing decreases. So for that, we're going to start off with knit 2, which is that nice border. And now we immediately go right into increases. First one is SSK, which is slip, slip, knit, which we did in the other leaf. Slip 1 as if to knit, slip the second one as if to knit, left needle goes in front, and then you knit both of those stitches together. Now we're going to knit 15. This could also be written as knit until there's only 4 stitches left. Then we're going to knit 2 together and then knit 2. Knit 2 together. Just take those 2 stitches and treat them as if they were 1 stitch, and then 2 regular stitches. And then we're going to do this 2 more times, I believe. So this was just 1 more time. No, 2 more times. We're on 21, so we're going to do 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, which is the last time we're doing that even number row. And then after that, every row is decreases. So come back after row 26. Alright, I just finished row 26, and now that is the last of the do nothing wrong side rows, and from now on all wrong side rows also will be decreases. So we're starting off with row 27, which is the same pattern that we've been following. Knitting 2, we're going to slip, slip, knit, knit to the last 4 stitches, there we go, 2 together, knit 2, and now we get to the fun part because it will start dramatically tapering, and we only have like less than 10 rows left until the end of this leaf. Alright, so now on row 28, which is down here, we're going to knit 2, purl 2 together, purl 9, purl 2 together, and knit 2. So what that means is we're going to knit 2, take 2 stitches, treat them as 1, and just purl both of those stitches as if they were 1 stitch. Now we're going to purl until there are only 4 stitches left on your needle. There we go. Another purl 2 together. Yeah, there's no back loop here. And then those last 2, we'll bring the yarn to the back and knit 2. No, I don't think I said this before, but if you ever see parentheses at the end with a stitch number in it, that just means how many stitches you're supposed to have on your needle after that row. So after that purl row, we should have 15, I believe. Yeah, we should have 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. and that just lets you know that you've done everything right. Okay, and then we're going to continue following that same pattern up until row 33. We're going to do something a little funky. So we're going to continue in that same pattern, the knit 2, slip, slip, knit to the last 4, knit 2 together, knit 2 on the right side, and on the wrong side, knit 2, purl 2 together, purl to the last 4, purl 2 together, and knit 2. So continue doing that up until the last row you do row 32, and then 33 come back, because here we're going to knit 3 together. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. Alright, we are now on row 33, where we are going to knit 2, knit 3 together, and then knit 2. So it's the same idea as knit 2 together. You're just going to take 3 stitches at once and treat them as if they were 1 stitch, which is going to be a little tough to get off the needle. Oh, I got it through. All right, so that's 3 stitches, and then knit 2 together. Not knit 2 together. Knit 2, period. All right, and then on the wrong side, we are going to just knit. So we're working that top border up here. So we're just going to knit the back side. Should have 5 stitches on your needle. And then we are going to knit 1, again knit 3 together, and knit 1. You should have 3 stitches by the end of this. So knit 1, you're going to knit 3 together again, so all 3 of these middle stitches. There we go. And knit that last stitch. And then the final row, you're just going to knit all 3 of those together. And you're going to cut the yarn and pass the end through. So, this is the hardest one. Knit all 3 of those together. Perfect. Now you just have to cut the yarn. And pass that end right on through. And that's what it looks like. It is a little curled. This one I would definitely block out, just so it lays flat. So right now it is not laying flat at all. And that just has to do with the nature of the stitches used. So this one definitely needs some blocking. Also, if you made 2 of these and sew them together, it would lay flat better. So it would give more structure. But that is how to make leaves from the Complete Photo Guide to Knitting. We have the large leaf that we just finished. Let's see if I can get it to lay flat. The large leaf and the little leaf. Alright, and that is 2 very basic leaves in 2 different sizes that you could use in a variety of projects. I've made mini versions of this for like a little headband accessory. You can add a flower to this. There are smaller versions, but these 2 are kind of the basics. You can also size these down by using smaller needles, smaller yarn. But yeah, that's the basics for leaves. And then of course you'd weave these ends in so they'd look a lot cleaner. hope you enjoyed the video and you're able to use this for some of your projects to spice them up. I'll see everyone next week. Bye!